Boom. There we go.
requesting to join, and you're like just sitting there talking all by yourself. Feel
I,
like
s-
you,
I was talking to the peeps, bro.
hey, 11 people.
Yeah, hey, 11 people. Dude, I was talking to PewView. He's the one who does all those crazy trick shots.
Oh
I,
yeah.
dude, I was telling him I sat at the range. I think it was yesterday or the day before, trying to do the little flip where you flip the round into the gun. Yeah, no,
Oh
it's not as
geez.
easy as it looks.
Yeah, and you can't even calculate. What do you one gunners hit factor?
Oh,
Hit factor.
whatever. I can't calculate hit factor on that, so I don't know how to do it.
Right, pretty much.
So funny. Way to go, Sean. You made it. Yeah, he made it. He made it.
Yeah, I made it.
Technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
So we just no, it was time zone difficulties. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna be on in 2 hours. Calculated the wrong direction 1 hour. So here we
Yeah,
are.
that central time will get you, dude.
It's like right in the middle. It's like an A zone or something.
Yeah. I know you three gunners don't usually hit the A zone very much, so it's kind of hard.
One center or two anywhere.
Yep, one center or two anywhere. Is that how it works? Is that how it's scoring? One in the middle, or you can just throw two at it?
In all but heavy division, yes.
Heavy, you just throw one at everyone, right?
As long as there's a hole in it somewhere, yeah.
It's just, I think I'm hitting.
Yeah, and it's fun. Actually, the last couple matches there's been a modulation of heavy division where it's basically tactical division but with bigger rounds, and they required two on paper, so that legit slowed me down. It was a lot of fun. So I was shooting 40 and 308.
Oh yeah,
So
so you shoot mainly heavy, right?
no, I shoot mainly tack.
Oh, okay, so you're just
I've
doing
only
heavy
done
for fun.
heavy probably half a dozen times.
Okay, but tac ops is your gig.
Yeah, it's basically the limited division of three gun, not to be confused with three guns limited division. But I mean, as far as equipment goes, the closest comparison to USPSA would be USPSA limited division. And
So
then
I heard that they might be allowing red dots on pistols for tac ops. Is that true?
Mark Stevens hopes. So um, there's a lot of talk about it, and it depends on the governing body or the individual match rule set. So I think the USSL, the United Shooting Sports Leagues, that under that body has the United Multi-Gun League, will be adjusting their tactical division to accommodate slide ride red dots. That's been a rumor for a couple of years though. So, uh, but then you'll go to an outlaw match and it'll just be traditional tack. So
Yeah.
who knows?
So I want to talk about you, dude. How long have you been shooting? And how long have you been competition shooting? You've probably been shooting a lot, but how long have you been shooting in competition?
Mm, almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years. So not that
Almost six
long.
years.
I mean, not like a decade or 2 decades like some of the other
No,
guys.
I took it up as a midlife crisis. So while I've been on planet Earth longer than say you, I picked it up. Frankly, what it came down to was a long time ago in a time called the '90s. I was a
I was in
professional.
that for 6 years. I was in there for
Okay,
6 years. Yeah.
yeah. So from the time you were about three until five, I was a professional working drummer. I toured and did studio gigs, and um, then I decided I wanted to like eat more than bologna on hand sandwich and maybe enjoy quality of life in other ways, and so um, and that was just as Napster was kind of destroying, or the whole Napster Supreme Court deal was destroying the music industry, and so gigs I didn't have anymore, right?
Yeah.
Thank you Metallica. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. But my favorite band ruined my first career. So um, I wound up going to college and getting married, kids. I've had a few career shifts since then. But
Yeah.
when it came back around to getting a house and not being in a condo or an apartment, I wanted to get my drum kit out. And then, oh, this is nice, but it's old. I want a new drum kit. Guys in gear. And
Oh yeah.
I found great meditative qualities to just practicing again, and setting goals. And but after a while, it's pretty damn lonely. There's no way I want to be in a band. Like, who wants to deal with emotional bass players if they don't have to? And so I played a few gigs, a few recording things here and there, but it's just so much extra work and coordinating with other humans that it's not like a match where like you got all the friends, but you sign up and you go or you don't, and they're there or they aren't. You're still going to shoot, right?
Yep.
It's a nightmare. Really, you're either in it all the way or you're not. Like these weekend warrior cover bands, like they still put in a lot of work just to have fun a couple weekends a month, right? And so um, I just it got to the point where like I needed something more social, and so I had just gotten a new carry gun that my wife gave me for my birthday, and I was messing around with it, dry firing it, and after I got my concealed firearms permit renewed, because I hadn't had one in a long time, not active. Um, I just got bored. So this was 7, 8 years ago, and
Yep.
so I started looking around, and like the first option was to be able to go and sign up for some tactical class, right? And then, well, this guy wants $800, 3 days of my
Oof.
life, and how many rounds, right? Like, and how do I know he was in the special operations? For all I know, he could have been a field medic or a cook, which, all military forces need. But, um, and as the internet's, grown, it's harder for guys to kind of
It's harder
do
for them
the
to do the whole,
lie
oh,
about
I
that.
did this, but I didn't.
Right. But it still comes out all the time. You see someone at least once or twice a year. Usually they wait till around SHOT Show time. So I'm waiting for who's going to get exposed this year. I guess there's no SHOT Show, but
I want to see the
um,
blue Atlas team beards for a match one day. Done, dude. Done. So we all need to dye our beards blue for an Atlas match. You down with that?
I'm totally down with that.
There we go. There
Do
we
you need
go.
me to lend you a shotgun for whatever match we're shooting, or
No, we're gonna make it USPSA. We want it to be cool. That's basically what I'm saying.
so you're a third of the way there? I'm with you. Anyway,
um.
so
Anyway,
anyway,
keep going.
I actually shot a USPSA match. As my first match, I was shooting my carry gun, and I was addicted, right? But I figured out that I didn't need to spend all this money to learn, right? I just needed to have $35 and 150 rounds, and a friend to video me to figure out how shitty I was at shooting, and then I made friends, and they started coaching me along, and I got into it really fast. But then someone's like, you should come and shoot a 3-gun match, and I said, a what now gun match? Like, well, you like doing this? Yeah. Add a rifle and a shotgun. I'm there. I need a shotgun. And so,
That's where
um,
I'm at. I need a shotgun. My wife's on here, honey. I got to get a shotgun now. I got to get a dissident. It's only 5 grand. It's just money. You're rich. Figure it out.
yeah, you're in the oil fields. That's basically, I hear oil's doing really well because of COVID.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Yeah, no. My wife is in real estate. She makes way more money than I do. She's my sugar mama.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just keep her satisfied
Yep. Yep.
with,
Yep.
with said sugar. Or you get the sugar. I don't even know. But
I don't know how it works. Somebody told me a long time ago. I forgot.
if you're still in the house, you're doing something right.
Exactly. Well, she
They,
isolates me to one room, but it's got air conditioning, so it's nice. She throws some food under the door every now and again. It works.
turn on a webcam.
That's
Um,
why I'm doing this. I got to do this and an OnlyFans to pay for the rent.
It's 2021, man. None of us know what that means, but that sounds about right. So funny enough, I wound up uh, really curious about three gun, and probably the first or second video, it was the first one I watched all the way through, was one that Mark Stevens put out forever ago. It's his one, flagship video that's had more views than any other video, and all the gear and stuff you need to get into three gun. So I just started planning it and figuring it out, and then my wife was pregnant with our fourth child, our last child at the time, and as soon as she was able to, shoot without damaging a baby's ears in the womb, um, she was just like, I want to go do that too. And so we've just been doing it together ever since. Like,
Which is neat. Y'all. You don't see a lot of husband and wife combos. Like, you got Gatman and his wife, and you guys, and you got like Lena and Jerry, but I don't. You got like
I think that's a
KC
daddy
and
daughter thing.
oh yeah, sorry, K and sorry K and Jerry. That got weird. And then you got who else? Jesse and KC, but like it's not super prevalent. You know what I mean? It's not a big thing you see with the husband and wife. Going shooting matches together, throwing content up together. It's a cool thing to see. It's a cool thing. It
It's a
really
lot of
is.
fun. In this off season time where we edit more than shoot because we've got fun videos that we're behind and putting up for the sponsors. So hi, person waving AR-15. Yeah.
Rick drop.
So right, like it's really interesting too because we had to learn how to compete together, right? Like when I'm in like game face, go after it mode, I am consequentially not in understanding, nurturing husband mode.
Yeah.
And so like our first we had a first couple of matches that we learned we learned some new things about each other, right? And we've been married for a minute. And so cool, we learned something new. It wasn't necessarily fun the first few times, once we really started shooting majors and stuff, but um we've got our thing, right? And
Yep.
we know when to tell each other to shut up and when to ask for help. I know when to not offer advice. I get reminded also, even though I already know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
She does something, and then you look
and
at her, and she looks at you. She's like, "Shut up." I didn't say anything.
yep. And she knows when to leave me alone, right? And it's when you're on deck and or walking stages, and um, it's really interesting when we both are breaking down a stage plan, especially at a major. Walking stages the day before, and she's got an idea she thinks is good. I got an idea I think is better, and we'll talk about it. And once the ideas are presented, we don't talk about it anymore. See, we've learned rather than like, no, but if you can get 5 from that position, so it eliminates that position. Like, yeah, but I can take that on the move going into there or whatever it is, right? Like, um, it it's cool though. Like, and just like with anything else, we've helped with our communication and other facets of life. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That
but
leads me. Uh, keep going. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying, we both kind of found our way. She wanted to get into multi-gun, and so, I wasn't going to teach her, right? Like, there are just certain things we don't do for each other, and me, I'll offer advice, but I was not going to teach her, like how to say quad load a shotgun. So what I do, I put together a class and
What is
flew Keith
that?
Garcia out, and Keith Garcia taught her,
Quad
which,
load? What's a quad load?
oh, it is when you load something 4 times, but in one go,
That
grabbing 4
seems
shells and
seems
cramming them
excessive.
into the shotgun.
Seems excessive. You could just drop a mag and put another mag in.
Do you know what these open guys do? They keep their shells in like coolers and shit. Like, no, there's something about running a tube gun. I don't want to. Mark himself has said as much, right? Like,
He
that's why he
loves
doesn't want to go
loading.
shoot open to it. It's fun. The weapons manipulation. Shotgun went from being my least familiar and most intimidating platform when I was looking at multi-gun to it's just my favorite thing to do. Like, there's something about loading and shooting on the move and cramming rounds in and keeping track of everything. It's just the closest thing I could probably compare it to is like shooting single stack. A stage plan
Yeah.
for a limited guy and a stage plan for a single stack guy, very, very different, right? Because you've just got
Very
those
different.
extra reloads, and you got to pay extra close attention to get a smaller thing into a smaller hole. Um, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So
I've really wanted to because I love shooting shotguns. I shoot skeet and trap all the time. I dove hunt and duck hunt. Duck hunting is one of my favorite things to do on the face of the earth.
well, imagine
I
doing that in rapid succession while moving.
Yeah, see, that's where I think it would get fun. I have like I said, I have a really nice 3-gun rifle. I have all the pistols. I just don't have the shotgun. I've got a couple hunting shotguns.
Come and shoot a 2-gun match. That's what's great about the governing body, the UML governing body. They have a 2-gun division. So
Yeah, the trick is to get your wife into guns. That way you can always say, "Hey, I'm going to go to the shop and buy you another gun." That's very
right.
intelligent. That's how I ended up with a really nice 3-gun rifle, actually. My wife wanted an AR. I was like, "Hey, this rose gold and black F1 over here, it would match you perfectly." And she was
Look how
like, "Yeah,
shiny it
I
is.
agree. Yeah, it's so shiny." She was like, "Oh, that
Skillet's a nice
really is
grip.
pretty." Yeah, she was like, "That is pretty. I'll take that." It's her gun. But
Yeah, well, that's one of the conversations we had to have. Like I would be helping her,
yep.
and is that oh, that's something on my screen. Never mind. Um, I'd be helping her by tuning this or cleaning that or adjusting this, and we just one day had what I call the "don't touch my shit" conversation. And so now, if I get asked, "Where's my?" I'm like, I don't know. I haven't touched your shit. And it has created clarity. So like now, if she wants me to help her with stuff, it needs to be requested specifically. But the general governing rule is, I don't touch her shit. If her pistol's dirty because she didn't clean it, and she didn't ask me to clean it, it stays dirty,
Oh well.
right? So
Yep.
she is better at cleaning than me though. So that was a big jump going from a combat pistol platform to race guns. Is just having to be more diligent with the cleaning.
That
So
was where I was going to ask you next. What were the biggest things you noticed going from a combat style gun? Because you shot for HK.
right,
Going
4 years.
from yeah, you shot for HK for a while, and you were probably really familiar and comfortable with that platform. When you went to the race gun style 2011s, what were the challenges, benefits, or just were there stuff that you liked better about the combat guns?
So now that I've to my Hyperion that I shoot 3-gun, um, I like the fact that I could just like clean her a couple times a year and not worry about it and not have any malfunctions. Um,
Yeah,
it was remarkable to learn how much I conform myself to a pistol platform to where it felt like it was made for me. I adjusted myself to that damn thing so much. The other thing was reloads. Reloads were a hard thing for me to relearn because I was shooting an ambidextrous paddle release. So I would actually drop the mag with my trigger finger.
ooh, yeah, because you were using a VP9 then, right?
No, I was using
Like a
USP Expert. It was a
USB.
5.5 inch gun.
Okay,
It
because
was,
I
it was the
carry a
heaviest long
VP9.
slide gun HK made at the time, and um, I could run that thing really, really well. I had a trigger job done on it. The guy that was Max Michel's like personal pit crew for SIG forever. He did all the designs for the P320 X5, the flat trigger, the only P320 that didn't fail the drop tests when they were going through that shit. Um, his name's Rick Holm. He worked for Bruce Gray at Gray Guns for a while, then broke off and started his own shop called Lazy Wolf Guns. But he's the brains behind that design, those modifications on what Max Michel's running, and he did all my action work for me for my USP Expert. So I mean I had a 2-pound trigger with a millimeter reset. I mean it was a sweet gun.
But
I
dropping with the trigger finger,
Well,
going from that,
I would
yeah,
drop my trigger finger, run it along the bottom of the trigger guard, slide it back, and drop it. It was really nice though because I didn't have to break my grip at all.
yeah,
And so flipping it in the hand and hitting it with opposable thumbs. That's what they're called. Sorry, I'm a three counter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll let you go.
And right, uh, it just took a while. But now it's second nature. Uh, Monday I'm going to pick up my new Atlas carry pistol, and like I'm all in, right? Like I don't want to train with one thing and carry another, right? I want to have it as consistent as possible. It just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I
So
carry a VP9 surprisingly.
button or paddle?
Paddle.
You should get the VP9B.
Yeah, I thought about it. I actually got that gun as a wedding present from my cousin. Nice wedding present. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, right. But well, the funny part was we were at his house, and he has like the sickest gun collection you've ever seen. He's got like four giant Liberty safes, like walk-in safes full of guns, all pistols, just a collector. But
Oh wow.
he had like seven of them. And I was like, yeah, I've seen those. They're pretty neat. And he goes, oh, cool. Here, wedding present. Just gave me one. I was like, okay. But I have
Do you have the
been,
factory trigger in it?
yeah, it's completely how it came. It's the
Oh,
VP9 L8.
I'll hook you up with the Lazy Wolf Guns aftermarket trigger. They've got a couple.
Hell yeah. But I dry fire with my carry gun, probably once a month just to keep fresh on it.
Yeah.
And tell your cousin he's invited to my wedding. Hell yeah. But I dry fire with it, and dude, it's different. It's different. It's actually made me go, should I be carrying this? But then I go back to, dude, if I got to go through 17 rounds and then make a reload, I'm probably in some serious shit that I probably shouldn't have
Yeah,
put myself into. You know what I mean?
but at the same time, most malfunctions happen in pistols, semi-auto pistols, because of ammo or mags.
Yep.
So you might not necessarily need a 17 round mag dump and then a reload. Maybe it's a malfunction
True.
reload, right? But I got you. I carried a P30 and I competed with a USP expert. So, but I don't even like picking the guns up anymore. It's funny because I was all in, and as I transitioned uh, away from those guns, like I don't like them anymore. It's weird. Like, I mean, I still have friends at HK. I'm not getting rid of my HKs, but I don't want to carry them or use them.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I would agree with that. I go from shooting the 2011s and then I go to try to compete with something else. And I'm like, oh, you
You know what
know,
you should try is the Archon Type B. Like that. That is probably the softest shooting, most accurate polymer striker fire pistols I've ever shot.
I have no idea what that is, but I will look it up.
Um, I'll send you pictures of mine.
Yeah, send me pictures of it. I'm curious
It's
now.
been my carry gun for the last few months while I've been waiting for my Atlas. So,
Oh yeah. So besides
um,
besides the mag release, what were the other kind of differences you noticed right away?
um, well, it's the type of trigger pull, right? So, um, a trigger that is on a hinge and does this, as opposed to a 1911 trigger that goes straight back. Um, just not. I mean, it's lighter. There's not as much pre-travel and not as much, you know, over travel. I mean, the nature of the entire trigger mechanism. It's built on completely different mechanical principles, right? So, I remember my first match shooting a Hyperion. It was just a local UPL match, United Pistol League. Very similar scoring to IDPA, but USPSA style stage design. It's an interesting scoring. It was just the match that weekend that I wanted to go shoot, um, and I I just realized I was shooting the gun like it had a combat trigger, just slower splits, and even though the gun's back on zero, like my vision was outpacing my trigger finger because I was used to doing this instead of that.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing I noticed is, as I draw, when I don't know, 90% of the way into my presentation, I'll start prepping the trigger and taking the slack out so I can break the shot as soon as the sights line up. And With the HK, there's like that much pre-travel, and with an Atlas, there's that much. And
Yeah.
so I wouldn't call them ADs, but they weren't purposeful Ds,
I always
right?
say if
So,
you're learning how to prep your trigger, if you're not ADing, you're not probably learning it right.
right.
Does that make
And
sense? In a safe
uh,
way. In a safe
I
way. I
had
don't want.
trained so much with this gun, in dry fire and going to range that, just learning to see the sights track, what that recoil pattern looks like, experimenting with grip tension and different recoil springs, all the things. Like it was a weird like adjusting myself to a new gun, but also realizing that Adam over at Atlas is trying to get feedback from me so he knows what to put into my build, um, by testing different springs and stuff on this loaner gun, right? So I was trying to figure out how much of me to conform to the gun and how much to let the gun conform to me, but I didn't know how much of it was me or just all the shit I had changed to fit that HK and make it work, right? And so, like, I decided to just let the gun be what it is. I still grip the hell out of it like I'm shooting a plastic gun, but I figured the trigger out. Tate gave me some awesome dry fire drills that really helped me learn that trigger really fast. So, um,
Yeah, because his trigger's retarded.
well, so yeah, he gave me a drill shooting like super small, dry fire targets on the wall. Not actually shooting them, but just to be clear, I don't shoot walls in my house. Um,
Yeah.
and just playing with that little bit of pre-travel. And but if you drop the hammer, you got to do a full reload. So
Oh, that's a
reload
neat
and
little
rack.
drill.
It was awesome, and it helped me learn my trigger really really fast.
Tate, what the
And
hell, man? Why didn't you tell me about this drill? I feel left out. It's fucked up. Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, so I like learning stuff from one gunners. I mean, historically, I spend more time on the pistol than any of the other platforms because the pistol translates to the long guns very much so. But I can't say that all the fundamentals from long guns translate equally back to pistol. Not to mention, the pistol is the most, those skills atrophy the fastest if neglected. So, um, if for some reason I feel like I just got to put in a lot of shotgun time, it is on top of my normal pistol regimen, not in place of. Um, but if I only have time to dry fire, um, I always go to pistol because that's going to help me maintain all the other things. Because stance, movement, just a lot of the fundamentals still are there. So
So that's a question I wanted to ask when you because like I want to venture into some three gun this year probably, especially now that I'll be living in Houston. There's a lot more of it available. Um, what do you think? What do you think's the biggest time saver? Like being better at pistol, being better at shotgun, or being better at rifle. Like, do you think a really strong pistol shooter who's mediocre at the other two can win over the
yes.
guy who's really good at
So
rifle?
if you've got your solid USPSA fundamentals, you watch these guys come into multi-gun matches, they clean up as opposed to the multi-gun or die guys that'll never go to a USPSA match. Um, the you know it, what the areas that'll kill a pistol shooter are usually long range rifle and then more complicated shotgun stuff that lots of flyers, slug shots, those sorts of things. But on your typical, like 80% of your typical bay stages where it's um, up close paper, working around barricades, it's a lot like a PCC match, right? And you've got the other area that'll kill a pistol shooter is off hand rifle. So shooting your 4 to 6 inch plates at 50 yards before you can move on to another position, that'll just destroy your time even if you crush it everywhere else. So there are different pistol skills too. You're shooting little 4 inch knockdown steel on the move, or do you pick up the shotgun and run through that really fast and then move to pistol? So there's areas where different shooters will play their strengths in their stage plan that'll be different when you transition to what guns where. But by far, guys that have their pistol game figured out, super hardcore, accomplished USPSA shooters can come into a multi-gun match and, you know, with moderate skills on the other guns, tend to do very well in the match.
Yeah, because I feel like the hardest part for me is going to be the long range rifle. Because I shoot some long range rifle. When I say I shoot some long range rifle, we can go out to like 600 yards here and I'll play around. I don't shoot that with my AR, but I can go like one, two, three. I've hit the four every now and again. But knowing the holdovers and stuff, so you're not sitting there adjusting your scope and
Yeah,
all that.
data on previous engagements. You're dope, right? You got to know
Yeah,
that. But if you know you're dope and you know your holds, trigger control on a long range rifle stage is just different than trigger control when you're shooting your pistol, even longer, harder pistol target presentations. So um, you got to be able to do it from awkward positions, kneeling, reverse kneeling, standing, supported, unsupported, um, all those things. Wife lady said hi. Hey
yep.
babe, I
Hello.
thought this live broadcast was at 6 o'clock, but it's actually at 4 o'clock our time. So I'll be up for dinner when this is done. But the stuff is ready. Our yeah. So
Yeah, I'll spell out Central Time next time instead of just CT. Oh, my
yeah,
bad. Forgot
I didn't
you
know if
three gunners
some
have a hard time reading.
that was some USPSA hit factor. I don't even know what it was. So
Mumbo jumbo. No.
right.
But yeah, the long range rifle I feel is going to be the struggle bus in the beginning, and then the shotgun portion, the quad loading if I don't have a mag fed, and then also keeping track of slugs to birdshot back and forth because I feel I don't want to be that asshole who throws a slug through a 10-yard steel and
Oh,
everybody's
if you
like,
are, they'll send you home. That's called a Dairy Queen.
yeah, Dairy
It's a
Queen? Is that
thing.
what that is? Yeah, no, but yeah, keeping track of the slug
You
and
get a
the
free gift card on your way out.
yeah, you get a free Dairy Queen gift card. Ask Range Panda. Range Panda just got in here. He knows what a Dairy Queen is. Yeah, he said check my IG.
Oh
But
my gosh. You
yeah,
were talking about shooting couples. Do you know how fun it is when one of us gets DQ'd and the other doesn't? It's even more
ooh,
fun when you both get DQ'd at a major and you're just driving home together.
has that happened? Did y'all both get
Yeah,
DQ'd at one? Oh shit, hell yeah.
different stages, different days, but yeah, it happened once. Um, it was it was at a match in Vegas.
Oof.
Um, yeah, but it happens. Like if you're not
Yeah.
doing something. Alicia's was noble because she was, pushing the envelope and seriously competing. Um, Mine was because I let somebody borrow my shotgun because in the shooting sports we're so generous,
Yep.
and usually somebody clears an abandoned gun. So after you
Is that what
abandon
you're
a
supposed to
gun
do?
in a safe receptacle, once the run is over with, um, said gun was supposedly cleared by the person who I let use my gun beforehand. I was on deck, and so I had to run over to the shotgun preload table and throw my ammo in at the preload table. And they set it back up on the preload table, and I had my 9 rounds in the tube ready to go. And they brought me to you know, and I play dumb. I stand there like an idiot until the RO tells me to do something. That's the only way to do it, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
you can go ahead and make ready. I'm like, okay, but if I started touching my gun before you said that, I'd be DQ'd, So, I just that's the only way to do it. So they'll take you to the gun you're going to shoot last and have you make that ready, put it on the staging table, and then go to the gun that you're shooting second in the stage, right? And
Yeah.
have you
Work your way
make
back.
that ready and work your way back. So this particular stage started with shotgun and ended with pistol. So he held my shotgun while I did my little dry fire thing and made my pistol ready, holstered it, and then he handed me my shotgun and I kicked. He said, "Continue making ready." Kicked my shell out on the lifter, rack the bolts, rack it in. But then this green Remington gun club round went flying out,
Oh no.
and I went home.
Did the guy who used it before, like, did he say anything to you or?
Well, he wasn't asked to clear it. The one of the match staff. So it was just an oversight, but it's a safety thing, right? Like I should have
Yeah.
cleared the gun before I picked it up, but I assumed that somebody else had cleared it, and
Oh, that
lesson learned, right?
sucks,
That
dude.
was 2.5 years ago.
That
Hasn't
sucks.
happened since.
Yeah, yeah. You learn those lessons the hard way. You learn those lessons the
Yeah.
hard way. I learned really fast to keep your finger out of the trigger at a couple matches during your reloads. I've slammed a few reloads home and blew up barrels and shit. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the action shooting sports, and I love the safety rules. They're very similar, between three gun and USPSA. A lot of the range commands are the same, and the safety rules they're multi-leveled for a reason, right? You got the 180, but you also have was that the SHOT Show match? No, it wasn't. That was Safari Land Expedition 2018. Um, but you have different layers of safety, so no one does get hurt. It's not like, all right, if no one does that, we're all going to be fine, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so I'm 100% in favor of the safety rules. Like, they seem excessive to some people, and you'll hear, especially multi-gunners, the outlaws complaining at the outlaw matches, like, oh, I can't believe they're making us do this and that, but
They're there
we're
for a
still running
reason.
around with guns
Yeah.
and trying to
And
go fast.
yeah, and I mean, even stuff can go wrong even when you're being safe, you know?
Right.
Like I watched a buddy of mine, Charlie Berry, at Double Tap 2018. It was like one of my first, actually, it was my first major I ever shot. It's where I met Grady Steer and Hero Under God. He was shooting his PCC and he hit a piece of steel and the ricochet came back and Charlie was standing right next to me and it hit him in the throat and it stuck. I
Oh,
mean, bro. Like he literally, I heard the smack and I heard him go, oh, and he turns to me and literally I can see the skin pulling away and he pulls it out and there's just a little hole and it's just and he goes, is it bad? And then it just starts to go and I was like, it's fucking horrible. He's gonna die. Like it was, he's immediately like, oh shit. So he thinks he's dying because I'm being a girl about it. So then he runs over and like they're all freaking out. And there was a medic, a special forces medic on standby. He comes over and he's like, let me see it. He's like, oh, you're fine. He stitches him up right there on the side of the bay, right? Yeah, dude, stitched him up right there. It was just like, you sure I can do this right here? You don't have to go to the hospital. The guy's like, yeah, whatever. Charlie's like, go ahead. I need to finish the match. Stitches his throat up. And then Charlie gets DQ'd on his run on that stage for breaking the 180. So he got shot in the throat and DQ'd. It was the worst. I was literally going, this is a nightmare. Like my first major
dick
match.
punch. That's awesome.
Yeah, so shout out for Grady for shooting my friend in the throat.
The most epic DQ I've ever seen was our Atlas teammate Josh Tarrant at Fort Benning 2017, 18. I don't know, 2017. Yeah. And we had this, it was a really cool stage design. We're shooting from a sniper hide. We had a Texas Star we had to shoot with a rifle. That was at like 70 yards and a few other, moderately long range steel. But it's not just about the distance, it's about the presentation, right? Texas Star, 70 yards with a rifle. I've never had to do that before or since. It was pretty awesome.
That sounds miserable. I don't like
Fort Benning's
shooting
fun.
those. I don't like shooting those when they're 15 yards in front of me with a pistol.
They're fun with a shotgun though.
Oh yeah.
But unless you like get cocky and you miss one, you have to throw in an extra shell, then it costs you the stage. But
You better stay in your room. I wasn't leaving my room. I was turning the light on. Get out of here. My wife's not even here. When she's home, I'm wearing like a little dog collar thing that she can shock me with. Stay good.
yeah, whatever keeps the spark alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get into some weird shit when you've been married for a while.
Correct. But anyway, this was a rifle pistol stage, and after you come out of the sniper hide, there was a dump barrel. I don't know, 10 yards downrange from the sniper hide, and then the rest was pistol, just a long, 70 yards of running pistol field course, lots of KD steel, some random paper, You had to stay within. We had raised fault lines, so you couldn't run over them. You had to stay within the fault lines, and
That
it
sounds
it was
fun.
a fun stage. And but Josh came running out, um, dumped his rifle, and I'll send you the post. It's been a while. Josh was hope Josh isn't watching this, but it
He's not.
we didn't even know what happened until we got back to the hotel, and like I popped it into my MacBook and like slowed it way down because it was on a GoPro, and the rifle went in and out, and he had also
Ooh.
hit with his hand his pistol, and it landed on the ground too,
Oh shit.
and he's just like first day, like third stage, and Daniel Horner was the match director. He comes out and he's just looking at it like they're like a crime scene, right? Like you just leave him on the ground. And,
How did this happen?
yeah, we didn't. He just rushed it, and from that point forward, he there is a moral to this story, by the way. He switched to an active retention holster that's got a hood on it. I shoot a Safariland ALS holster that has the automatic locking system. 100%. If you're going to get in a multi gun, get something with active retention, no passive retention. You forget to like tighten the little tension screws on your Kydex holster with no locking device. It's over. I've just seen so many DQs with a pistol go flying out when it didn't have to. Someone's running too hard with their long gun and pistol on the ground, right? Like it's dumb. It's not necessary, and um, yeah, I'm very opposed to passive tension holsters and three gun.
So you're saying
They're
don't use an 015.
probably not, probably not. So
So one thing, um when you're doing your training, right? Are you like super structured and scripted with your training, or you just kind of like train what you think, like kind of like flavor of the day style training? Because that's a question I get asked a lot.
both actually. So I mean, some days you're just not feeling it, but it's better to train than to not train.
Yep.
Right. Right now I'm spending a lot of time on pistol. I've actually got some one gun goals this year. Actually renewed my USPSA membership. That was
Hey
weird.
yo.
Um, and but so in the morning I have a very scripted, regimented thing. Like I get through it when I get through it. 30 of these, 50 of those, and I go through it. At night, when I'm not dragging, I'll do 5 minutes or 50 minutes of dry fire on something that I need to focus on in particular, whether it is cleaning up some shit that I discovered after shooting a match that really needs to be cleaned up, or if it's in preparation for a match that I know I need to be really drilling down on a specific skill set, right? Like not all three gun matches require working with a rifle sling, but if I have a match coming up, then maybe I'll spend a week, a month before the match, working on my deployment of a rifle from a sling after abandoning a shotgun, abandoning a pistol, or shooting from a sling and then abandoning that rifle and transitioning to a shotgun or a pistol, all the combinations. So, um, and days of week. So Thursday's usually weapons manipulation day where I just keep sharp on weapons manipulation and transition drills. Start with a pistol, move to a rifle, move to a shotgun, and planned reloads, bolt and slide lock reloads, emergency reloads, um, all the things. Practicing abandoning and transitioning to weapons on a flat table surface, slanted boxes, dump barrels, all those things. Just to keep it sharp,
Yeah.
once a week. And then there are certain things that I just do every single day because if I don't, I know that it's going to show up being a problem in my next match. And most of those are pistol skills. So I'm always doing Hopkins dot drills for pistol transitions, staying sharp on the iron sights. Um, uh, I've been spending a lot more time this year on movement, staying low, being more efficient, getting into and out of different positions with rifle, so squatting, kneeling, whatever. So I'm doing a lot of squats and lunges and things to really strengthen that because that's one of my weaks.
Get those shooting glutes up, man.
Well, yeah. I I'm 6'4", right? Like
Yeah.
I can't be like Max Leograndis or Marco Caboang or
They got
like
that low center of gravity, man. A low port for them is just a small little crouch down.
right.
Low
But
port for
I'll
you
tell
is
you,
getting on a knee.
at the last pistol match, my stage win was when I really focused on staying low and on my movement. It was 20 degrees out, and so like splits weren't there. Even my reload wasn't there. It was just like put mag into mag well, make sure it seats, now shoot, right? Like it was just cold and um couldn't feel anything. So, but because I stayed low and my movement was efficient and um, my positions were right on and the footwork was there, like
Yep.
I crushed that particular stage, and it had a low port, which is one of my weak spots, right? Like it was at belt buckle height, like
Oh
on
shit.
both sides,
Wait, your
right?
belt buckle or like a normal belt buckle?
Somewhere in between, probably,
Somewhere in between. Okay, so like 3 foot.
right? So, right, and so and it was a 180 transition. So there was a going down a gauntlet where I had I had to do that shooting opens and partials on right and left. So and it was a full, you know, uh, hard left, hard right transition while staying low. And then we had some targets at the end. That was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, just a
Staying
local
low is
match, but
staying low is important, dude. A lot of people don't focus on that enough.
no, and I'm one of them. It's been one of my weak spots historically, and so every time I remember to stay low, everything just goes better. And so I'm really making that in the off season my just one of my things. It needs to be automatic though, because it's not. I have to consciously remind myself, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
I see a lot of, especially in dry fire. Like I see a lot of people's dry fire videos where they're standing in one spot straight up and they're drawing and doing stuff. When do you ever do that? You never do that.
right,
So like I tell people, like I've talked to people about this, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, I dry fired for an hour," and I'm like, "No, you didn't dry fire right. You didn't dry fire right because you can't be
no,
in the position of shooting for an hour. Your legs are
mm-mm.
fucking torched afterward. Your hands would be torched. Your forearms would be torched. Like, and then when I see guys throw up their practice videos, they're running tall, they're coming in positions tall, they're leaving positions tall. Go look at JJ or Christian or Max or go look at those guys' videos
Or
and
Shane,
or
like yeah,
Shane or any of the top pros, right?
mm-hmm.
Go look at their videos and watch in a stage how long they're tall. It's in the start. They maybe start tall and then they're down and they're low. They're not fully erect. Um, I mean, I'm always fully erect, but they're never
Yeah, like
fully erect.
feel free,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They're never fully erect through a whole shooting position unless they have to stand tall to see over something. It just isn't something they
right,
do, and that's something nobody works on. And they wonder why shooting on the move is so difficult. Well, you're not getting low enough.
right. I mean, I walk around the house like an idiot, like I'm shooting on the move, just all the time. And with my kids being forced into homeschool, for a week after, never go fully erect. It's been nice because 2020, just not out in public as much, so I can walk around like an idiot more without being self-conscious and
Yep.
rolling through my steps. And so much of it's not a shooting game; it's a movement game. You just have to hit targets on the way.
This is a movement game with a little bit of shooting. Three gun, USPSA, IDPA. It's all a movement game with a little bit of shooting. That's what it is.
IDPA, I don't practice anymore.
Oh, sorry, IDP gay. Is that what you're? Yeah.
Something like that.
But Sean is like my height when he's at his lowest position. It's not fair. Well,
Love you, Carlos.
yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. Is that his real name? I don't even know his real name. I've only known him as Gatman.
Gatman's his given name, but Carlos is what he goes by in real life.
I met him at SHOT
I don't
Show,
even know.
and like I don't remember how it worked, but like I think I don't know, I was with a group of people, and like we just kind of like merged together in people, and I was like, hey, what's
It's
up,
called the
man?
circle bar.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And he was like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah, dude, Gatman. And I'm sure he was probably like, yeah, dude, that's not my fucking name. That's my Instagram. But I called him Gatman like 7 times. I'm sure he was like, this dude is a tool bag.
Yeah, I
But
never get called Sean Go Boom.
yeah,
Ever.
ever. Yeah. I should probably, yeah, I should have been like, hey, man, what's your name? You know, but I have a bad habit of doing that. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I know you. Bullets and beards. Fucking Mike. And I always say that. I'll be talking to my wife and I'm like, yeah, Bullets and Beards is doing this. She's like, you need Mike. I'm like, yeah. She goes, just say Mike. I'm like, okay. Oops. So if Sean can do it, I can be full. If Sean can do it, I can be fully erect. You're always fully erect. I've seen your videos. Your little floating guns thing. That's what people don't realize is what
Right.
that's levitating on.
Just the tip, though.
Yeah. Haha, I don't get annoyed by it. And when someone asks my real name, I say Jose. LOL. Okay, so
I literally asked him what his last name was once so I could just put it in my phone because the OCD was eating me up because I didn't want to just have like Carlos Gat in there. And he gave me this like um, Carlos Guadalupe Ramirez, like this big long. It's still in my phone that way. And then it ends with the third. And
the third.
yeah, just all these Latino names and
Alejandro Ramirez, Jose
yeah,
Jesus Guadalajara the third.
yeah. So when I ask Siri, hey Siri, call Carlos. I have a couple Carloses in my phone. Would you like to call Carlos one last name or Carlos Guadalupe Ramirez? Whatever.
That one.
Yeah.
So one question we had was how much do you or do three gunners take? Like how many USPSA style classes or from USPSA style instructors? How many classes do you guys take? And do you think that it's something that you do that your competitors don't, that you think gives you an edge? Like where would you go in that spectrum?
I think there are two areas where in three gun you can pull ahead more so than any other. Like all skill sets being equal, right? Is if you can really crush the long range rifle, right? And then if you can have really solid pistol skills. Um, if you can take out a bunch of KD steel on the move, little 4-inch things hanging out on those stakes, and you've got a 23 round mag, and as opposed to somebody who's got they can blow through 12 of them, but then they've got to throw in a few more quads in order to keep going with a shotgun, then you potentially have an edge, right? Like you watch someone like Nils Jonasson, a monster pistol shooter, right? Just absolute
Freak.
monster. And yeah, he doesn't really slow down a multi-gun because of those skills. So, yes, it does give an edge. No, a lot of multi-gunners don't want to. There's a reason why we're multi-gunners. Like we like all the things.
Yeah.
We want to do all the things, but when it comes to like developing skill sets, like I was saying in the beginning, pistol translates to the long guns. It's kind of like cycling, right? Running will help your cycling. Cycling won't help you become a better runner, though.
Yeah, but cyclists don't like running and runners don't like cycling.
Correct. And so,
Yeah.
I'm one that, that's one thing that I learned early on as a musician was how to practice. You practice shit you suck at, right? It's train your weaknesses, but race your strengths, right?
Yep.
So I'm not going to show up to a major and say like, well, I really should be working on my pistol. If I had better pistol, I would be doing this. Like if I'm not feeling my pistol skills that particular weekend, I use the shotgun where I'd otherwise, use it because it's a major match, right? If it's a
Yeah.
local, like, well, let's throw shit against the wall, see what sticks, right? But
Just throw
I
shit
mean,
against the wall, see what sticks. I like that.
but that's what locals are for. Like,
Yeah.
there's you can train all you want, but like if you have a chance to go to even the crappiest matches, the local ones, and have someone else set up a course of fire that you got one shot at, like go push yourself, go find your 110%
Yep.
so you can recalibrate your 100% and do that next time, right? So for me, I yes, I have taken classes from pistol guys, right? We Lena Mitchell actually came out here in July, and we had a private range day with her, and
That's pretty cool.
damn, I learned so much from her. She's just
Dude,
um,
she's got one of, if not the greatest um, athletes to ever pull a trigger at her disposal at all times. That
she
is,
literally moved back in with her father to, at least for a little while, to train with him and get to where she wants to get for her goals over the next year, 2 years.
I would.
If you'll notice on her story, she's training with daddy almost every day.
I
So,
know. I know. I'm jealous.
um,
I would. Hey, Jerry, if you're looking for a son, right?
right.
Lena, if you're looking for a brother, just let me know. I'll move in. I'll do the dishes. I'll clean up around the house. I just want to train, right? I just want to pull the trigger with Jerry for a couple months. I won't get in anybody's way. You know, it'll be fine.
Uh,
Just take me up on that
he's
offer. Let me
he's the
know.
Michael Jordan of the shooting sports. He
He
really is. He's
is.
just, and he can do all of it. Like
Yeah.
that's what I admire about him so much.
All of it, dude. It's not like he's just good at one or two things. Like I'll use and I don't know, just because I haven't seen Max Michelle shoot other disciplines, but like Max Michelle is phenomenal at pistol.
Yeah,
Phenomenal. But is he
no
that
argument.
good with a rifle, with a shotgun, with a revolver, with whatever he picks up in his hands? Probably not. Not as good as he is with his pistol. But Jerry is as good with every single platform as he is with his pistol. It's insane.
Yep. I can't imagine where he'd be if he was running something like a 2011 instead of those MMPs,
Scary,
right?
bro.
Right.
Scary.
But I'll tell you, he arguably probably doesn't need it. Like, it's the old, would you rather have Tiger Woods' clubs or his swing, right?
Swing all day.
And
I don't care
so
about his
anyway,
clubs.
training with Lena was the last class we did. It was August, July, August, something like that. And she's given me so much to digest that I'm not ready for another class, right? Like it's those kinds of classes. Not that I wouldn't take advantage if
That's how a
an
JJ
appropriate
class
one.
is,
Right. Like if JJ was rolling through town, I'd sign up,
for
and
sure.
I'll take it where I'll ingest as much of it as I can, but it'll take a while to digest.
I
And then
still digest from JJ. I took JJ's class. I've taken two classes from him, and I still like I keep it. I have notebooks of everything, and I'll still be at the range and go flipping through that notebook and just be like, "Oh, I missed this little nugget." Like we're 7 months later, I'm still learning. Like it's so much to digest. It's insane.
that's what it was training with Ron Avery at the Tactical Performance Center. He's just, yeah, he changed everything for me pistol wise. Um, if you know who Ron Avery
I do
was,
know who Ron Avery is. Yeah, or well, was whatever.
God
Um,
rest his soul.
yeah. So you've got, I know you signed up for your USPSA membership again. So
I renewed it.
you renewed it. You renewed it. So does that mean you're going to come play at a USPSA major with us?
Yeah, sure.
Do it. Do it. Where are you located?
I've actually never shot a USPSA major. I'm in Salt Lake.
You're in Salt Lake City. Okay. So yeah,
So like Area 1 is close.
go
Yeah, I
to
like
go to
I've
area
shot state
two.
matches, but
Go to area two.
Area 2.
Go to area two. It's right there in your back door. I think it'll be in Mesa, Arizona. Um, dude, go to area two. Jump in a squad with me, Mike, Chase, Tate.
Yeah,
We'll see if
we
Gatman is cool enough
we
to
should
come
do
hang
some
out with
locals
us.
down there. Like Lisa and I would love to drive down to Vegas and just go bullshit and shoot a local with you too.
Well, I'm
Be
not in
fun.
Vegas. I'm in Houston. Well, I'm in
Oh wait,
Midland.
yeah, you are
Yeah,
in Houston, aren't you?
I'm in Midland, but I'll be in Houston in February. I'm moving to Houston. But I will say, you guys are welcome to come hang out in Houston. I've got plenty of spare bedrooms. Come chill. We'll go shoot some locals. We'll go to some training. I've actually got a private range down there. So it'll be a pretty neat deal. Y'all can come down. We can do some filming. We can do some shooting, eat some good food. And if you time it right, there's like 5 majors a year out there. You can time it right to where we hit a local and a major.
That'd be fun.
It would be dope. It will
Well,
be dope.
same. If you find yourself out here, we got room for you and show you the ways of the scatter gun.
Show
Get
me
you
the
like
ways of the scattergun. Yeah, Joe
hot and
Farewell
bothered.
swears he's going to teach me how to quad load. I said, you do not know what you just signed up for.
It's not hard, dude.
Yeah, you say that. I got dumb fingers. Break a thumb or some shit. End up,
Dude,
my thumb's going to
I'm a
get stuck in the
drummer and I
tube.
can
Pull it
quad
out.
load.
Drummers are good with their hands, though. You freaking doing all
Yeah,
the
not their
crazy shit.
fingers.
Yeah, I guess that's
it,
true.
it took me a bit, but yeah, you can do it.
That's true. So, what else? What else you got coming up this year that you're excited about? Let's give us some nuggets. Give us some cool shit. What do you got coming up that you're pretty pumped about?
We're, we're trying to change up our match schedule for this year. You know, COVID kind of screwed everyone's match schedule up just from the standpoint of cancellations and rescheduling. And we're actually looking at a lot of different matches that we've never been to before. We're gonna hit a few of the same, but you know, I'm starting my season off with Superstition Mystery Mountain in Arizona. I've never shot it. It's one of the OG, you know, classic three gun matches. Outlaw rule set, no governing body, and I'm really excited about it because I've never shot it. Like we're trying to change up, you know, the majors that we shoot this year. It's just been kind of the same thing. Oh yeah, we got this coming up, and with everything getting messed up with the pandemic, scamdemic, when the
Scamdemic, I
batshit
like that.
China thing, um, uh, everything got screwed up anyway, and so we're just looking at throwing it all up in the air and seeing where it lands. So um, it's been kind of fun, you know, moving from HK. You know, HK was fun, but you know, when B&T poached us in 2019, now they're getting all of HK's military law enforcement contracts too. If you don't know, B&T was an OEM for a lot of HK contracts, and at a certain point, they decided to like, let's just we will make our own guns and go after our own contract. Right?
We will make
They're
our
just
own.
yeah, and it's pretty cool to see how fast and rapidly that company's expanding.
I
They,
want to get my hands on a B&T so bad. I started looking them up after you told me about them. Oh,
dude,
dude, I want to get one so bad, so bad.
that
That's on
that
the next purchase list for sure.
um, well, hit me up. Maybe I can get you a deal on one. You know, industry insider pricing and stuff.
Hell yeah.
I should probably have said that not publicly.
The more you
But
know.
or who knows you, right? So, but there's just some, you know, opportunities that have opened up for us as far as matches in different areas than we normally go to, and we're excited to meet more new people, and with the Atlas family becoming part of that, right? Like it's shooting. The other thing is a lot of local three gun matches have kind of like withered away until ammo's more available, right? We're good
Everything's
on
withered
ammo.
away, dude. Like, we
Yeah,
haven't had
but
a three gun
there's more
match out
pistol
here.
matches. There's more pistol matches going on in three gun.
True.
Everything's scheduled up, so we're excited to shoot a lot of three gun. But you know, I'm want to shoot a lot more one gun stuff too, of
Yeah.
different types. Like for example, shotgun ammo is not nearly as scarce as centerfire stuff. So
No.
there have been a lot of tactical shotgun matches. You know, it's like three gun, but just with a shotgun. That's been a lot of fun.
That'd be dope.
And you know, this idea in three gun, the HK pistols were great. But now that I'm running an Atlas, like, oh, I can go faster. Huh? No kidding. They're all alphas. Wow. And I could just do one sight picture and just slap that trigger, huh? Interesting. I had no idea how hard I was working to keep up with guys shooting 2011s, and it's just been a joy getting to know these guns and figuring out how much we can race with them. And so we're shooting a lot more pistol matches. We're just having fun. And someone said Iran's destroying Israel on your chat. I don't know. You got to control that stuff. Got some political.
Iran's destroying Israel. Oh, well, I don't care. Not happening in America. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I haven't
So
cared about
anyway,
anyone else since 1776. I'm gonna lose all of my international followers in 3, 2, 1.
So, but
But
anyway, like we're
but
just
yeah,
just changing it up,
it's
right?
a it's a big difference though, because you do work a lot harder to run those other guns. Like when I pick up my carry optics clock, dude, it it's a struggle, dude. Like I go and shoot 500 rounds of practice with my carry optics clock, and I'm whipped. I go
Yep.
shoot 500 rounds with my open gun. I could probably shoot another 500, no problem, not an
Yeah,
issue.
it's a different thing, and so we're it's taken a long time to get to know these guns, and I feel like I'm just starting to have a really close relationship, and we're just having so much fun with these Atlas pistols that like I want to shoot them more, right? B&T is being really good with us, and they've asked us to run their sub guns because they kind of made sub guns cool again, and their
Hell
PCCs
yeah.
at work. They don't like stop working. They don't know the service life of the APC-9 yet. They're like 350,000 rounds from the trials going into the Army contract, and it still runs. Like
So
it's an incredible machine. So,
so how are the triggers on those? Like on that on the PCC style guns? Like are the triggers pretty legit?
well, what's cool is you can put in whatever trigger you want as long as it's mil spec. So you can put in a Hyperfire
So
or
it'll drop in
I've
just like an
got
AR trigger.
yeah, exactly just a mil spec AR. I've got an Elfman Match Pro SE trigger in both my 3-gun rifle and PCC.
I gotta get one of
Um,
these. I gotta get one.
and what's cool is the latest iteration of the APC-9. It actually takes M4 grips, and you can put on your favorite AR stock. That's what's cool about them. Unlike other snobby, expensive European gun companies who shall not be named, um, they're cool, innovative Swiss guns, but they're not annoyingly proprietary
Yeah.
in all the wrong ways. I when I was shooting for HK, I was shooting a match closer to your direction, the Triple C range outside of Dallas,
Yep.
and it was just one of those stages. I was so in my own head for my stage plan. This was also 2017. Jeez, um, and it was a stage that went on this like narrow plateau ridge. And so you start out with pistol, transition to shotgun, you had some slug shots, you're shooting down into a gully, and then some like knockdown steel and clays, and then you transition to a rifle, and you had your rifle slung the whole time. And then you shot some long range off of like a little dollhouse. And I had left my mag for my rifle back at the start table.
Oh
So
fuck.
I'm running, right? And Josh Tarrant is filming this, and I'm like, I forgot my fucking mags. Josh is, you just hear him like, you're kidding me.
Oh
And
man.
so people are like bringing me, mags with long range ammo in it. Like, here, it was a match that allowed coaching and assisting. It was they're pretty complex stages, and they're big, and it's an interesting element. So it's fun to have someone coaching you, especially on the long range stuff, reminding you of yardage, and it can also mess you up too if
Yeah.
you don't have a good
Could get
buddy
in your
coach.
head. Yeah. If you don't have a good
Yeah,
friend. My asshole
or other
friends,
people
they'd
can
be
get in
like,
your
"Nah,
head.
man, that's only
Hmm.
250. Oh, it looks like 400."
Right, and so someone handed, and it was a Gen 2 PMag. Well, the HK rifle I was shooting worked with Gen 3 PMags or proprietary HK mags, but not Gen 2. So I put it in,
Oh
falls out, I pick it up, cram it in, rack the action back, and it like, the mag is over inserted now, and so someone else runs up
shit.
with their PMag. It is also a Gen 2 PMag. It was just I zeroed the state. It was awful.
Dude, I forgot my fucking mag. I would
So
be
like,
pissing myself laughing.
right, but what are you gonna do? Stop? You can't. You just
Yeah,
go as
run
hard as you
all
can.
the
And
way to the front.
yeah, and so I to contrast, I've tested mags in this B&T rifle I'm running. It runs HK mags, it runs Gen 2, it runs Gen 3 P mags, it runs everything. Um, and I can put an AR trigger in it. I can put my favorite AR stock on it. It it's just not annoyingly proprietary. It's got
Yep.
the proprietary action, but like it just shoots so damn soft and flat, and it's so accurate that and I can put all my favorite rifle components on it and make it mine. And so, um, just a contrast, right? Like it's cool to be working with a company that is really pushing the envelope, coming out with legit new stuff that's actually being used in military, law enforcement, combat situations. Yet, um, it's applicable to three gun. You know, I like different and new, and so it's fun to be working with them, and they ask for our feedback too. Really
That's a
fun.
big thing that I like. I like a company that does that. Like I've got
I
a
like
few.
that about Atlas too,
Yeah, I
right?
love that. Like I get constant questions from a lot. Every company I'm associated with now does that. They ask me feedback, but I've had a few in the beginning that just here's some shit, use it. I don't care what you think about it. And you're just like,
Here you
this is
go.
stupid.
Let me know what you think. I'm gonna get mad if you say your opinion, but
Yeah, and I've
that's
had
fine.
them do that. I'll be like, hey man, I really don't think this works very well, and they're like, what the fuck do you know? I'm like, okay, well, you can take it or leave it. Like, I really don't care. But like Atlas really will be like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. How can we fix it? Awesome. Let's think about it. Is this something that every other consumer is thinking? Like, there's a lot in a lot of my other companies like that. Like even the bullet company I have. Like, hey, I don't really like to profile these bullets. Oh well, let's try something new. You know, let's try something
Right.
else. How do these feed better? What profile of bullets feed better into a 2011? Cool, let's make those for you. Like it's good when you find companies like that. B&T is doing that. That's pretty legit because
Well, yeah, like what was it? 2019, they got the Army contract, and consumers got excited. They're like, "Oh, will you make that sub gun in 10 millimeter?" And they said, "Sure, just wait till Shot Show." And they came out with one at Shot Show, and it shoots so damn soft. Our JJ Rakaza came out to our booth and shot it. He's like, "Oh, this is nice. I like it. It feels good." And then he accidentally hit the mag release, which is where it is on an AR. He just hit it and he picks up the little Glock mag that was feeding into it. And he's like, "What? 10 millimeter? No shit." And he's freaking out because it shoots so soft. And
yep.
um, it's fun to work with a company that actually listens to consumers and will say, "Yeah, we'll come out with a 10 millimeter." Same thing with their 308 gas gun. People have been asking for 6.5 Creedmoor, and
Hey
there are
yo,
rumors that that's working too.
that would
So
be cool because I use 6.5 for pretty much all my hunting stuff. I use it for deer,
it's a fun
hogs, elk,
caliber to shoot.
everything. Yeah. So I
And the
would definitely buy
308's
one
the
of those.
45 of the rifle world, right? So
Yeah. Yes, it is. The destruction of Israel is near. What's up with this dude in Israel? Like I already told you, I don't really care about Israel. I have no interest. Isn't that where Bull Armory's out of? That would
yeah,
so. Oh no, we lose Bull.
what's Steve Anderson gonna do?
What's Steve Anderson gonna do if Bull goes? Oh my God. So besides the B&T thing, what else, man? You got you're working with some other pretty cool badass companies. Who are they?
Yeah, we're focusing on the big four that we're working with this year: Atlas, B&T, Federal, and Safariland.
Hey
That's,
man,
I mean, we've
federal
got
king.
support from other companies too, but
Send me some of those federal primers, bro.
do I need to take them out of my syntaxes before?
Damn it.
I I just hit it with like a nail and
Freaking three
hammer to get it
gunners,
out,
they
right?
don't load their own pistol ammo. Losers. Ugh.
You shoot Majorly 9, is that what they call it?
I do shoot
Majorly 9?
Major 9, but this is, shout out to Federal, that is what I run for primers. This is like 10,000 bucks right here.
Yeah. In 2020 dollars,
In 2020 dollars.
which
I got
2020 dollars aren't worth much.
I got a Porsche
Let's
sitting
see.
in this. I got a Porsche sitting in this damn drawer right here.
Right. Hi, bearded
Oh,
shooter.
what up, dog?
Got, got
So
this
you're
one.
focusing on
So
Federal, Atlas, B&T, and Safariland. Fellow
yeah,
Safariland shooter, pretty neat too.
they're
Love it.
absolutely. They actually reposted the announcement for this live, so
Oh,
hopefully
nice.
got a few more attendees from this. But
They never
yeah,
repost anything of mine. I really don't think they even know I'm on the team.
I I would really we've got support from some great companies, and it's just really come down to being able to give the focus to those that support us the most. that they deserve, right? Like, you know, I'll throw in reviews here and there with some smaller stuff. Elfman's been really good to us, right? But the focus is still shooting. That's the focus. Lots of training, lots of shooting. Oh, and shootsteel.com. They've been with me from the beginning. Make some amazing targets, and it's all American made stuff, American source steel. They're just a fantastic, innovative company. They've got some new stuff on the horizon, so I'll be doing some things with them. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's really just a matter of helping these companies get the exposure they want as they support us in our addiction to run around and shoot stuff in various states across the nation on the clock.
Hell yeah.
And
You doing any international stuff this year or next year? I know this year probably not with all COVID going on. I don't know if I'll be able to either, but
no, I want to touch on that, and that's one of the reasons why we're really leaning more on the one gun side of things, you know, in every direction where we can, because not only are 3-gun matches questionable as far as which ones are going to be happening, but you know, we want to start touching the IPSC things, pistol, rifle, shotgun, all
yep.
of them, because it's kind of what we do in multi-gun, all the things, right? So I'm really interested in shotgun. Rifle World Shoot looked miserable, so I don't know if I'd ever try that. But all my friends that shot it were like, yeah, it was an experience.
I would
We'll let
like
the fan,
I would like
fans
to go
shoot
to
that next time.
any world shoot, but if I had one that I would not like to go to the most, it sounds like it'd be rifle or shotgun world shoot. The shotgun world shoot, or the shotgun world championship looks pretty cool. I think I'd do that, but
That looks
the
pretty amazing.
yeah, but the rifle one, I watched Joe Farewell and Riley Kurloff and all them. I was like, ew, that looks slightly miserable.
Yeah, it didn't. You have to call your shots on paper 300 yards out. Like, it's just, as opposed to, you know, anything you shoot, you know, past 100 yards, especially more like past 50, is steel. You're not shooting paper out past 50 in 3-gun.
It's a long
It's
shot on paper, dude. 300 yards on paper, calling your hits when you're tired, been running
not
for
to mention
45
resetting.
yards. Oh my God, yeah, resetting that. Who's got to go walk 300 yards and go tape that? It's Ipswich, so they
Right.
probably have resetters, I guess. Um, but yeah, dude, that's sucks. That would blow. Like when we did
Either or.
did you see the stage nationals this year for USPSA, the long one that they had, where they had like
Yes.
50 or
Saw some
60-yard
videos.
paper? They had a guy in a
Mm-hmm.
golf cart who was resetting those. Like legit, they had a golf cart on the stage, and they would
Maybe
say,
Mike Foley will get more IPSC conscious then.
"Yeah, you would think,
Got
but
resetters.
yeah, I need some resetters." But yeah, I think that'd be cool. But
You know, we had a little bit of trash talk with 3-gun versus USPSA, just going back and forth on this. It was fun. One of my favorite multi-gun stories involves my best friend and companion in life. What was it? Last fall, 2019, Optics Nationals in St. George, Utah. We were down there, and our friends at Federal had a booth demoing some of the Syntech stuff. So we stopped by to say hi. We went to dinner with them that night. Had some friends, Lena, Josh Freilich, Max Leograndis, others were shooting. It was fun to go say hi. We were just down there for fun, though. And turns out that SIG didn't provide any of the demo guns that they were supposed to be providing, and they were demoing the new 130 grain PCC Syntech ammo. And so we had our B&Ts in the truck, so brought them out. We hung out for a day because the SIG stuff was going to arrive the next day or whatever. People are shooting. Oh, this is so soft and nice. And one thing about these B&T subguns is they have an extra hydraulic buffer in the back, and so they're direct blowback, but like there's just no muzzle rise, and they just stay flat. You know, it's like the Atlas Perfect Return to Zero. It just stays at zero, and
yep.
Shooting them in full auto is even more amazing. But so we were hanging out. They're shooting B&Ts. Like it was just a good time for all of us. And then this guy comes up in a golf cart, and he wants to check in, see how it's going, because he was aware that, you know, not everything needed for that bay, the demo bay there, was was fulfilled. And we had just been talking to people that wanted to come in and try the ammo. So Alicia didn't know this guy in the golf cart from anyone else. She's like, "Hi, I'm Alicia. Do you, are you shooting today? And he's like, "Well, I'm kind of in charge here." I'm like, "Oh, nice."
Oh man.
And she's just like, "Well, we've got this PC and a couple of pistols. My focus is on multi guns, so this isn't uh, my normal scene, but you're welcome to try out, what we have over here. Ken will hand you a loaded mag and give you some range commands." And she's like, "By the way, my name's Alicia. What's your name?" Like, "My name's Mike Foley."
Oh my
And
God.
I'm like this. I laugh my ass off. Like, just a multi-gunner. Doesn't know Mike Foley. Like,
Oh.
because it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like it's someone that puts on the matches we shoot. So, like,
Yeah.
it was so awesome. It was just so awesome watching Mike Foley not be recognized.
Oh, I love it.
And to watch his ego start just melting all over his face. And she's just being her happy-go-lucky self.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Want to shoot some
very
shit?
professional and like, "What would you like to try?" And, Federal couldn't have been happier.
Yep.
But
Mike's,
"Well, I've shot a few multi-gun
Foley
matches myself, and that's where I got my start."
Oh my gosh. I don't want to rag on Mike too hard. Mike does an okay job.
I got nothing against the guy.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with my sport.
Yeah, he's got everything to do with mine, but cross that bridge when we get there.
Joe and I will be standing with open quad load lessons ready to receive you.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't I don't foresee me leaving USPSA ever fully, but there is a directional change that everything's headed that I think USPSA is way behind on that they could be doing much, much better on, but I don't want to get too far. And dude, the fact that have you ever go to USPSA's Instagram? Have you ever been to USPSA's Instagram?
Yeah, I follow him.
Is it not the worst shit you've ever seen in your life?
It's not exactly indicative of the top parts of the sport.
Yeah.
Given that I own a digital marketing agency and that's kind of like how I make my living, I have my own opinions on the entire gun industry, and how they do things, but I don't want to turn into a John Bartolo podcast.
Yeah, no, neither do I. That's why I want to stick off of it. But there's just so much that they could be doing to further the sport and get with the times that just isn't happening. And I think as long as we have somebody in that position that thinks that the last 10 years are just good enough, we're just going to keep gradually growing or gradually dying. It's not gonna go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, like say what you will about Three Gun Nation, but at least they fucking tried.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready for another group in any governing body to try, and people will gravitate to it.
Yeah, and Three Gun Nation didn't have, when it got really, really big, like it wasn't you weren't exactly in the airspace that we are now, where like streaming wasn't really a thing. Not really, you could say it was, but it wasn't. It's not nearly as
it was becoming a thing
prolific as it is now. Yeah, it was becoming a thing as they were already too far gone. But I think if someone took up that mantle and tried to redo it now and do it with a streaming service and with the amount of leverage and reach that you can have now via social media, they'd knock it out of the fucking 100%. Park. Knock it out of the park.
Yep.
Your chances of succeeding are...
We need to make people want to shoot the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of shooting, the United States and Israel will not be safe from missile attacks. Bitch, I wish a motherfucker would try to launch a missile at the U.S.
Come on, Farshad Tabar.
Yeah, dude. Let's listen here, man. Like, you want to see... you don't understand that 90% of this country is rednecks that just design fucking rockets and cars that go 0 to 400 miles an hour for fun, just for fun. Oh, and we also just design like the coolest shit to just blow shit up
When you
because
say
for
this
fun.
country, are you talking about Texas or the United States?
Basically Texas. But like, if you really want to awake that sleeping giant, come on, let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice. We got just do it before we get Sleepy Joe in. Do it while we
Whatever.
still got Big
We
Daddy
just gotta
Trump.
bomb them with a pig shit bomb, and they'd be so busy washing themselves off they wouldn't have time to retaliate.
Who's this guy? Buzzkill from the Wishing No Wood tribe. Oh, that's funny. But
Well,
yeah,
sounds like we got through our question.
yeah, we got through all of our questions. But yeah,
Well, let's do this again, man.
yeah, we definitely need to do this again. What we need to do is have you come shoot a USPSA match, and then we'll do a live talking about the USPSA match and what
And
you
then
thought
we'll have
about
you
it.
come and shoot a 3-gun match.
Dude, yeah, let's do that. Why don't we do a
Or even 2-gun division, right? Like,
I'll shoot 3-gun. I'll shoot 3-gun. I have to borrow a shotgun, but I'll shoot it. If I'm
fun.
gonna do it, I want to do it. My dad said never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. You know, I'm down to try some 3-gun. I've shot some 2-gun out here. It's not like I've never done it, but I've never done the whole 3-gun with the shotgun and all that stuff.
It's totally different than the 2-gun and 3-gun are not even close to the same thing. It's just that element of a shotgun because you've got your bird shot, you've got your slugs, you've got the flyers and yeah, it really is 5-gun, right? Like between bird shot and slugs, and then you got long range rifle, and then
Short range rifle.
Hoser
Yeah.
up close base style paper. Those are two very different disciplines. And then your pistol stuff, like it really is 5-gun.
Yeah, you want to hear
different.
a funny story? My first 2-gun match out here, I was shooting PCC and pistol, and they had a spinner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, first stage of the match. Never seen a spinner before.
Was it rifle distance or pistol distance?
It was pistol distance.
Okay.
Well, no, it was 25, 30 yards.
Yeah, that's rifle distance. Okay.
Rifle distance, whatever. And
I don't know.
it's an all steel stage, right? With a PCC.
Mhm.
You shoot it once with a PCC, once with a pistol. So I'm thinking, okay, hit all the steel, right? And I'm thinking, what is this spinner thing? I'm like, oh, it must you shoot the top and it falls off, you shoot the bottom and it falls off, whatever, right? I'm thinking it's like a star. So I'm just going to hose and bing, 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 bing. I get to the spinner, go one up top, one up bottom, keep going, bing, 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 bing. I get done
30-second penalty.
Yeah, I get done shooting and they're like, all right, yeah, clear the stage. Here we go. All right, now it's a 30-second penalty for not making that spinner go over. I'm like, wait, what? Because I was first shooter, first stage, first shooter, first match. Last name's Cotter. I always end up going first, right? Nobody fucking told me.
Unless you're Burrows.
Yeah, unless you're Burrows. Nobody told me, right? So I shoot this thing, ding, ding, keep going. And they're like, yeah, dude, you got to make that spin. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. So then I watch everybody go and they're, bing, 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 flip it over. And I'm like, well, that looks fun. I should have done that.
Well, if you're going to shoot open, 9 majors is one thing you want to hold on to because that makes spinners a lot easier.
Yeah, I will shoot 9 major because if I do go 3-gun, I am going to go open because I want a box fed shotgun. But I know the wife was looking at you like, come on, we got to go eat.
Mine is too.
No, mine's not even here. Mine's working. She's making money. But I see yours. I can see her in the mirror.
You can see her in the mirror? I didn't even realize.
See, there she is. Hello. But yeah, I'll let you go, man. It was fun talking with you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. And yeah, we definitely need to do this again, man.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. You be safe, brother.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Just so everybody knows, this will be on my Instagram page. And then I'm actually starting this into a podcast. I haven't really announced that yet. So if you're watching the live, the 8 people that are, you get the first exclusive. I won't announce it until probably like a day or two. But I'm going to turn this into a podcast. And I'm already uploading all these to YouTube, and then they'll be available on Apple and Spotify pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the range.